Amigos de iRock, estamos aquí conectados junto al destacado vocalista de una gran banda que actualmente la lleva en lo que es el metal progresivo. Estamos hablando de la banda Haken y el vocalista Ross Jennings, con quien vamos a tener el placer de conversar hoy día. Hi Ross, how are you? What are you doing these days?
Hola, muchas gracias. Thank you for having me here. I'm doing great. Thank you. Yeah. I'm
That's great. And tell me, are you rehearsing with the band or are you in any process of composition maybe?
we've just started writing a new album. It's early days, but it's really exciting. We're doing this remotely at the moment though. There's a lot of ideas flying around, a lot of riffs, and we're figuring things out slowly.
And do you have any
Yeah.
idea of how it's going to sound? It's too early.
It's really too early. We're hoping to lean more to our metal side of our sound this time around, but we don't know. Anything can happen, really.
Great.
Such is the nature of being in a prog band, you know.
Yeah, of course, it should be. Well, your concerts here in Chile have been very exciting, and the last time I think was even better than the previous. Do you think the same? Do you have expectation about your next show here in Chile?
Well, we do have an expectation now because we know how electric these these shows are and how passionate you guys are in Chile. So we are super excited to be returning. Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait.
That's great. And well, now the fauna age is like finishing.
Sure.
You are now in process of composition.
hmm
What's your balance about this album, the process, like your balance or conclusions about it?
Well, we've toured this album. We've done more shows supporting this album than any other album we've done. So it's been really successful, and we've managed to, essentially get two tours, two full tours in 2 years out of, and I'm talking world tours, out of this record, which is cool. Which included the Evening With shows we did in North America and Europe, where we performed Fauna in its entirety. So that was really really cool to do that, and there'll be a live release of that show we did in London coming out this year as well. So people who weren't able to see that show around the world will be able to see it this year.
That's great.
Um, but
Mhm.
yeah, we're really happy with the response to the record, and really we just want to keep the momentum going now. You know.
Great. And well, do you have elements? Are there elements in that you played in Fauna that you will still be with the band, maybe new elements that you brought in Fauna or the new compositions is
Mm.
completely different.
Sure. I mean, we experimented quite a bit. There's, a few couple of the tracks that really spring to mind was the stuff we did on the Alphabet of Me, where it had more of a pop edge to it, and that was a fun experimentation. But I'm not sure if that particular sound will repeat. That's just something we wanted to do on
Yes,
this record, and really, it's hard to know what's gonna stick and what's not. Each song is a new adventure, and when it comes to writing, you just know you don't really know at the beginning what it's going to turn into. Um, but we have all these different elements from all our records, which are in our arsenal, so to speak, which we could use at any time. And if that's quite a luxury to have, we're not stuck in this one particular sound, which people will have come to expect. I think when a new album comes out, um, the fans expect the unexpected. So that's yeah, something to rely on, I guess.
okay.
It's a
Okay.
saving grace. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you think sometimes about how you will be remembered in the future? I mean, would you like to be remembered as a bulwark of the progressive music in this time, or something like that?
It's not something I think about really. To be honest with you, it's been really great in the last 10 years to see our name incrementally become merged with bands that we grew up loving, like Opeth and Dream Theater and Symphony X, who we toured with, Devin Townsend, and we're now mentioned in the same sentences, and it's just great fun. I think we want to grow it even bigger if we can, and we'll just keep, you guys keep listening, we'll keep making it, and we'll let fate decide, I guess.
Yes, yes. Well, and
But
talking about, sorry, something else?
I guess I was just going to say, as long as we keep enjoying what we're doing and we're honest in our creativity, and that should shine through, and it will hopefully resonate with everyone.
Yes, of course. Yes. Well, and talking about the important bands, in your birthday, you shared a picture with the last Dream Theater record.
Yeah, yeah.
With the return of Mike Portnoy, that I know is a good friend of yours. Um, are you fans of them? I know the answer. I know you're fans, but what do you think about the relevance of Dream Theater in the progressive metal music?
Um, it's so important to the genre. It's certainly. I mean, I guess I missed the days when sort of Fate's Warning were the big progressive metal band at the time,
Yes.
and I guess Dream Theater were influenced by them in some way and kind of took the reins. But they've been crucial to artists of my generation in finding our way and how we express ourselves, um, and bridging the gap between the classic prog and the metal, the modern day metal. And I think it's a really nice balance that they've always had. And I'll forever be a fan, no matter what. So,
Okay. Well, making progressive music, you used to make like conceptual records or big
mhm.
pieces of music. Do you create sometimes thinking in a single instead of a part of the big picture?
I think we've started to do that more than in the past. We took big risks in the beginning of our career by doing, the first two records as concept records, which are, that for a mainstream, that's probably the worst idea for any band to do. And these days, where the habits of listening and consuming music are very different, a lot of bands now are thinking more about the singular pieces and how the music can be reached to people, and it's definitely changed the mindset in some way, in subtle ways, in how we think about putting records together. So yeah, I mean we're all big fans of the concept record and the album, but these days we're starting to have conversations more about just putting singles out and seeing where that goes. And so that who knows, that might be where how we promote the new stuff. It's the TikTok generation, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
How do you feel
It-
about this like phenomenon? I don't know, the TikTok and all this short stuff.
yeah, I don't know. It's killing creativity a little bit.
Mm,
But I'm not really on it much at all, and um,
okay.
so we're still old school in that way, in terms of how we think, but we have to adapt, right? And I guess a lot of us are still finding our way through that stuff and seeing where it
Yes.
goes. Yeah.
Well, and let me ask you, since a few years ago you were working again with Peter. How does it feel being with him again, and how do you feel the band has changed in these years?
Well, it's great to have Pete back, 'cause he was an original guy. So it feels really fun to have him back in the family. Um, I don't know. It's like there's some obvious differences in terms of how he plays the keyboard, and the kind of sounds that he comes up with will be different. But it's all positive, and yeah, it's been the last couple of years have been really fun, um, to be touring together and you know, it's great, really good time, really good at the moment. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you to send some greetings for our audience in iRock website and an invitation to your show in Chile.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no problem at all. I will happily do that. Yeah. Hey, this is Ross from Haken. So we're returning to the Teatro Cariola on May the 2nd this year. Santiago, we can't wait to come back. This is going to be an epic show with a whole brand new set list. If you've seen us before, expect to hear some songs you've not heard live before. We can't wait.
Great, Ross. Thank you very much. It's been really a pleasure, and I hope to see you here in your next show.
Of course. Yeah, good to talk to you. Thanks for having me.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Cheers, man.